Welcome to the #Attitude Shield podcast, the true mental operating script rewriting program designed for those looking for a change from within. No more hype or sugar-coated promises. This is to-the-point guidance on how to change the way we think to grab the life we always wanted. Are you ready for the change? Now your host, David L. Parker.
Hey everybody, welcome to the next episode of Wonderful Wednesday Wisdom with myself, Big Mouth, and of course my buddy down there in, he went to Dallas, but he's back in Houston, Eric Jackson. How are you, Eric?
I'm doing awesome, babe. How's it going, man? Awesome week.
You know how it works. If I complain, somebody will tell me to hush.
So, I see you have kicked off the week with Addicted to Busy.
Addicted to Busy, yep.
I thought you was talking about me for a minute there.
I was talking about us.
You lost.
I was talking about us.
Check your mic.
Really? How did I lose my mic? My mic didn't move. Is it gone? Talk.
There you go.
I guess I'll have to edit that out, or maybe I'll just leave it in.
Leave it in. Leave it in.
Why not? We're being real. Yeah, I started it off with
Exactly.
Addicted to Busy, and actually the day after this one airs, which is tomorrow, look, you are stuck with a pretty face. I mean, you got a big old smile, but you are straight frozen. I'm going to leave that on the YouTube channel. Look at Eric. That's called
You know what?
Right,
So were you for a second there, buddy.
I don't understand. I am direct wired here. You know what I mean? Completely direct wired. Nothing, no Wi-Fi. It's all direct because of uploading to YouTube takes so long, you know. So who cares? You know what? If people are listening to us and they're upset because we freeze like this,
Right.
oh well.
That's part of it, man. That's part of it. There you go. Looks like we're caught up now.
Yeah, definitely Addicted to Busy has been on my heart because I look at all the things I'm doing, and then I look at the people around me. I look at, I have a 6-person family living here in my house with my, adopted through life sister, if you will, and now her 2 kids. So there's 6 of us here, and it seems like you wake up once the house wakes up. I and my wife are up much earlier, but once the house wakes up, it's like, forget it. It's 97,000 things, and I'm like, wait a minute, what happened to being present in the present? I'm too busy trying to get down the road, right?
Exactly. Missed that.
What? Wait, what? No, you don't. But I didn't want to really harp on Addicted to Busy because that's yesterday's show when this airs, and then tomorrow's show when it airs, so Tuesday and Thursday. I did want to pick your brain about something. I've had an interesting day. When I say interesting, that's just my euphemism for frustrating, challenging, pissing me off, things that really check that strength of the attitude shield. Can I hold strong to what I say, or am I just full of shit? Right? And I think it's because, one, I've not been around the 3 people that I think the 3 types of people we're supposed to surround ourselves with. So I've been surrounded by complainers for 2 solid days.
Ooh.
And I don't know about
Ew.
you, but it's hard when you're surrounded by that negativity to stay the shining face in the crowd, because the little things in your world that are beating you up start to become something that everybody seems it's okay to talk about. What do you say?
Right. It's major. Yeah, you got to get away from that, dude. If you're still in that, move around.
Well, the challenge with most of these people I'm talking about are around the workplace.
Yeah, cut those conversations short.
Oh, do I try? I had a customer come in today from Wisconsin that him and his wife sat at the bar for 30 minutes and never said a positive thing, not one. And they're on a trip. They're retracing. It's their 48th wedding anniversary, And I'm like, congratulations, that's awesome, it's beautiful. But they're retracing their honeymoon steps, and they complain to me the whole freaking time, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah. That's a tough one, baby.
It's almost like people can't figure out how to get out of that mode. Once they start whining, they want to keep on going until one, they run out of the box of wine, and two, they get more cheese. I mean, I don't know what it is. It's just
exactly.
it's
the conditioning. It's the conditioning of habit.
Yeah. So let's not talk about negative people. Let's talk about what I think are the three kinds of people we need to hang out with. I think we need to hang out with people like you, the inspired people.
Yes.
People that have a dream, a target, they want to go somewhere. Their vision is bigger than their challenges. You know what I mean? They're not listening to the garbage from Billy Bob Thornton and all the other monkey mucks. So how many people in your world right now are inspired people there, Eric?
Actually, my entire circle right now. I mean, and that's
beautiful.
I literally cultivated it to where that is the circle that I keep around me. I have very, very, very few negative people in my life. And even with them, the energy and the vibration is so heavy with me that I tend to go in and be able to change the temperature in the room when I'm in that environment.
Talk about how do you do that? How do you, Eric Jackson, change the temperature in the room?
Just being positive and, looking at things from the vision of how can I bring value and add value to who I'm conversating with or who I'm in the presence of.
Right. Very cool.
And, always looking for the positive. Always.
And if you always look for it, you always find it.
Oh, exactly. I mean, and I can tell you, I've been in some, some dreary rooms, and it's like, well, the room's clean. I'll feed off of that.
Right.
Right.
So I think,
and just being present. You know that. That's my thing. If I can be present in the moment, I'm gonna find the good in the moment.
There you go.
So
I think another group. So after the inspired, I look for those who are excited. They got some energy moving forward, right? They're trying to just go forward. I mean, it's so addicting. It's you know what? Negativity is addicting. My life sucks is addicting, and so is woohoo! Let's go. I mean, you ever noticed in sports? I've been watching the World Series for the collegiate level women's fast pitch softball, which I enjoy watching the sport. They hustle. You never see somebody when the team is fighting to come from behind and somebody cracks a home run or whatever, gets it going. Nobody yells, "Come on, let's go, you bunch of losers." You know what I mean? They're always excited. Let's go,
exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yes. And I would say if you give me, I would take an excited person, an excited, uneducated person over any smart, intelligent, down person at any given time. Because I can direct that energy. I can help direct that energy.
I would say go ahead.
Most people that have that type of energy are very open to learning and taking direction and, moving forward in whatever endeavor that they want to move in.
Right.
It's just making sure that you're tapping into what they want to do,
right,
and helping them on that aspect.
One of my favorite things to say is I always would rather try to guide a volcano than motivate a mud puddle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If I got to get up and beat you to move every morning, well, yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah. The beatings will continue until morale improves.
Too much. That's too much, man. Yeah, it puts everybody in a downer mood.
Yeah. And then, of course, I think, to me, the third group of people that you should be around is the grateful people. People with a gratitude with their attitude, man. You can't be around the woe is me folks.
Of course. I mean, you have to be able to find gratitude in the littlest things, because, I mean, life is hard enough as it is, right? So if you're steadily in the woe is me and the world's against me, and you can't find the simple gratitude in lights being on, water, running water in your place, the love of a child, right? The little things.
Yeah.
If you can't find gratitude there, I tell you, life's gonna be hopeless for you. It's gonna be a bad trip. So you want to be around, and if you have somebody that's actively seeking gratitude, oh, come on, man.
Right.
And think about the person that's
wrong there.
Think about the person that has all three of those qualities going on for them.
Well, if you're inspired and you're excited and you're grateful, the odds are you're doing one of my favorite acronyms, SFT. You're seeing where you're going, you're feeling where you're going, you feel the love of what you're doing, and you trust that you're going to get there.
Exactly.
Or
exactly.
You can take it like this. This is actually where it comes from. If you can see the Lord's face and you can feel his love and you trust that he's going to take you where you need to go, how can you fail?
Yes. I want to say something, but I don't want to ruin it.
You don't want to ruin what?
Not having faith, man.
Yeah. I think it takes more faith not to believe than it does to believe.
It's crazy because I believe that most people deter themselves for their own lack of faith and giving up before it's time.
Right, because they can't trust.
Yes.
They just can't trust, And that's one of the things that I've always found interesting about leaders, is leaders have got to learn to trust the people that they have around them. I mean, if you can't trust who you're leading, what are you leading, right? But
exactly.
On top of those three things that we said, and then the little SFT acronym, I think leaders who have influence, the first thing a great leader does is give.
Yes.
They don't take, they give. And I can tell by the type of leader you are, you're definitely a giver.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Wholeheartedly to a default on some levels, because I give and won't stop giving.
Right.
And people have told me, Eric, you're giving too much. You need to pull back because you're giving too much of yourself to leave for yourself.
See, that's people I feel. I could do a show on that. I could. I could do a whole attitude show on that, because it's like people don't understand. If I grab onto something with this hand, right, I can only hold so much. Like I can hold one pen, right? But Correct. If I open my hand, I can hold a whole pack of pens. So if I open my hand to give to somebody, my hand is able to get more back. People don't understand. You don't run out of energy. You only run out of energy when you're demanding a repayment of.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
And I love that analogy because you're absolutely correct in that. And I've seen that analogy several times over from some of my mentors. But yeah, you're absolutely correct. The more you give, the more you're going to receive. Right. And that's just biblical knowledge. Give as you give, you receive. So
yeah, no, it absolutely is. And then on top of the givers, they got to care. They go together. Yes. You can't give and not care. Here, have this.
You have to.
I don't care what you do. Just take it. And then, of
exactly.
Course, so while you're giving and caring, you have to continue to grow as a leader.
Exactly.
You got to read the books. You got to hang out with the Eric Jacksons of the world. You got to hang out with people with the same kind of inspired, excited mindsets, right? And then
ever expanding. Right?
And then on top of that, a good leader has to live authentically. You can't say one thing and do another. That don't make no sense. I mean, like you and I figure out every week how to make this happen. Sometimes we meet on Sundays, sometimes we meet on Mondays, and sometimes we meet on Tuesdays. It don't matter. We find a way to get it done.
You just got to do it. I mean, the being is in the doing. So yeah. And the most important thing a leader has to do is be able to listen. Shut up and listen.
Well, you and I showing up is because my next thing about leaders is they need to be empowering others. And that's the whole reason we're here. We're trying to share a message from the mess you and I have been through. And man, have I been through a mess. You know what I'm saying?
You and me both, brother. You and me both.
Who wants to hear a story about somebody who went through nothing?
Right.
I was born, I became a billionaire, and everybody loved me at the end. What? Gee, glad I didn't write that book.
It's funny because I had a pastor one time said in one of his sermons, say, God does not send you to battle without first training you up. Right. So he has to take you through trials, tribulations, and failures so that you're trained up to go into battle.
And I love to add to that, if you're really hard-headed, the training could take longer.
Well, it definitely did for me.
It's definitely that for me, because I seem like I go through, I don't learn the first 12 times.
I like to say that I'm a repetitive learner.
A repetitive learner. I remember when we used to run restaurants in Colorado Springs, we'd always ask people interviewing, are you a fast learner? And if they said yes, we'd be like, well, we're only hiring slow learners this week. All right, a little bit more on that leadership thing. So once you empower people, you got to be able to manage and serve people. Manage and serve.
And keep with heavy emphasis on the word serve. Heavy emphasis on that. Heavy. Yeah. I like to use the terminology, instead of being in charge of, I'm in care of the people that work with me.
Right. If you're not impacting the people around you, you're naive, because we all are. It's like I say, if you are standing anywhere and you throw a rock out into a pond, there's a ripple coming back your way. It doesn't even matter if you were able to hover over the water and drop the rock, because it'll splash back up. It is impossible to make an impact, a ripple in the world, and it not come back. It's not possible.
Yeah. And it all depends on how you throw that rock out there, is how you're going to get it back.
Yeah, hopefully it don't come bouncing back and hit you in the head.
I mean, just think about that. A lot of us don't really pay attention to what we're throwing out into the atmosphere, what we're throwing out into our environments, in our homes, in the circle of people that are around us. And then we get blindsided with attitude, negativity, and this, that, and other. It's like, okay, where did all that come from?
Right. If you're sitting around speaking negative all day long, guess what? Your day's going to turn negative. Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you. Sorry about that. But yes, definitely.
So I've made
go
ahead.
Be mindful of what you're putting out in the atmosphere always.
So I've added a new target on my list of things that I'm going to accomplish in my life. And one of the things that I've decided to add to my list is I want to spend the rest of my life making other people feel less broken.
Like that.
Figure out some way to share something and let them just understand that they're not as broken as they think they are, and they can heal. I mean, one of my favorite pictures, and I'm trying to find it because I want it in a frame on my wall, shows a tree that has fallen over on the ground, okay? The roots are sticking up, and out of the tree, limbs have grown up. So it says fail and grew out of success. You know what I mean? You're not broken.
Yes.
You might be tripped up a little bit. You might be in a spot you don't want to be. And I think I have a key. One little sentence that I think if we learn to say to everybody at the appropriate moment, right? It'll be, first of all, it'll become unweird. And second of all, they'll start to feel it. And that is to tell people tell your friends, tell the people you're associated with, tell the people you're around that you love them.
Yes.
We act like that's such a taboo word unless you're saying it to your significant other.
That's a staple, dude.
Right. I mean, you and I do this together, and I love you, my friend. I do. Yeah, I think of you often. I pray for your well-being and for your growth. I mean, it's just part of what it is, but I don't think we say it enough.
We don't. And you're absolutely right. It's reserved for significant other and for our children. Not understanding, and that's simply because of the fact that most people don't really take the time to understand what love actually is and how empowering it can be across the board if you're actually expressing it to the people that you are. And again, that comes with another catalyst of that comes with the fact that most of us don't trust,
right.
And we don't want to get exposed. Exactly.
Right. Well, I
don't want to get exposed.
You don't say something back. People feel rejected and they feel sad.
Exactly.
And then they act like their self-worth is connected to your response.
Exactly.
My self-worth ain't connected to nothing you say.
Exactly. But my thing is more so now than ever is helping people to understand the real perception of themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I believe that most of us, including myself, we walk around with this picture of ourselves in our head, and then we're showing something completely different on the outside.
Right.
And we're projecting something completely. Exactly. So getting people to change that perception of, what's really going on as far as what they're seeing in the world and what they're projecting to the world, and getting back to their authentic self, getting back to being able to live in that vulnerable truth of themselves is, my ultimate goal going forward.
And I think for people to get there, they got to become more aware of what's really worth your energy, what's really worth your time, which boils down to what's really worth your love.
Yes.
What's worth
exactly.
it? Now, people all the time, they act like love is this weird thing. It's just a action followed by compassion, followed by a desire for the betterment of the other person. You know what I mean? Exactly. When I tell somebody I love them, I mean, I'm telling them, I hope your life becomes better for you. I want to be there and help support you becoming a bigger and better person.
Definitely. And you're absolutely right about that. I mean, it's just a simple act of giving, unconditionally, without expectation of it coming back. Just give.
Some people just have a really hard time with that. So, well, there we go again, knocking out a whole show with no script and no direction and just, I thought about calling it the ED show, then I decided that's a bad acronym.
No, you did.
Well, I don't want people calling us Mr. Ed. Well, Mr. Ed.
Ooh. There's a whole nother direction that can go in, buddy.
Whoops. Oh, yeah. Thanks for bringing that up.
It could be a real weak show.
We're gonna have, what's wrong with the crowd? Anyway, okay, you went in the wrong direction. Uh-oh, the human being side of this thing. All right, let's wrap this one up, Eric. We'll talk to everybody next week on Wonderful Wednesday Wisdom. Eric, say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There you go.
You've been listening to Attitude Shield, your double dose of espresso for your attitude. Check us out on Facebook and on the web at www.attitudeshield.com. Again, thanks for spending this time with us. Between now and when we talk again, keep those shields up, eyes on the target, and always be moving towards your dreams.